You all ate it!
In the village of Okwuru, meat was once a luxury. People ate it only during festivals, funerals, or when money was good. Hunger was a familiar visitor in most homes, and so when Eze began selling meat cheaply, no one questioned it too hard. Eze was young, too young to be such a skilled butcher. His cuts were clean, his portions generous. The meat was always wrapped carefully in leaves, still warm when he arrived at the market before dawn. "It's bush meat," he would say with a soft smile, and people believed him. After all, who would imagine something worse? Soon, Eze became important to the village. Mothers saved his number in their heads. Men greeted him with respect. Children followed him, hoping for scraps. The elders noticed that the meat had a strange sweetness, but hunger made them quiet. What they did notice, slowly, was that people began to disappear. First, it was Okorie, the drunk who slept beside the road. Then Ifunaya, a girl sent to fetch water after sunset. A traveler vanished one night, leaving behind only sandals at the crossroads. Each disappearance was followed by an increase in meat. More supply, more smiles, more chewing mouths. The forest changed too. Hunters returned empty-handed, swearing they felt watched. Dogs refused to bark at night. Flies gathered around Eze's house, even when nothing was cooking. Inside that house lived Ngozi, Eze's wife. She stopped eating the meat after the third disappearance.
At night, Ngozi heard sounds behind their house, wet sounds, cutting sounds, the low thud of something heavy being dragged across the ground. Sometimes, Eze sang softly while he worked. When she confronted him, he held her face gently and said, "Don't ask questions that will make you starve." One night, she followed him. She hid behind the trees and watched as her husband dragged a struggling figure into a shallow pit. The moon revealed a face she recognized, a boy who used to greet her every morning. Eze raised his knife. Ngozi screamed. The forest swallowed the sound. That night, she locked herself in and prayed until dawn. Eze returned home smiling, his hands clean, his eyes shining. "You almost ruined everything," he told her calmly. From that night on, he watched her closely. Then came the night of the knife. Ngozi woke up unable to move, sleep pressing her body flat. Eze stood over her, shadow stretching across the wall. The knife glinted softly. "They want more," he whispered, "and you're mine." Her screams saved her. Villagers broke down the door. What they found inside the house destroyed Okwuru
Behind
forever.
a false wall were hooks, sacks filled with human bones, skulls stacked carefully like calabashes. The elders vomited, mothers collapsed, children screamed. Eze was dragged out, bound, beaten, but he laughed through it all. "You can't punish me," he said. "You fed yourselves with your own people." Before sunrise, they disposed of him deep in the forest, where no grave could be found. They burned his house. They swore never to speak his name again, but the cost had already settled. Weeks later, villagers began to dream. They dreamed of meat sizzling on fires. They woke with blood on their lips. Children spoke in their sleep, begging for food. At night, shadows gathered near the burned house. The smell of roasting flesh drifted through the air, even when no one cooked. Then people began to disappear again, not violently, quietly.
A woman walked into the forest and never returned. A man followed a voice calling his name. A child vanished from his bed, leaving behind teeth marks on the pillow. One night, the elders followed the smell. Deep in the forest where Eze was disposed of, they saw a figure squatting by a fire. Thin, twisted, smiling. His body was half burned, half rotted, but alive. He was cutting meat, human meat, and around him stood the villagers who had eaten before, silent, hollow-eyed, waiting their turn. Eze looked up and smiled. "Don't worry," he said. "There is enough for everyone now." The elders ran. By morning, Okwuru was empty. To this day, travelers avoid that road, but sometimes when hunger becomes unbearable, people say they hear a gentle voice from the trees. Fresh meat, cheap meat, and those who follow it are never hungry again.